New jobs could be created in Falmouth if plans to dredge the port go ahead. The General Secretary of the GMB Union gave his backing to the scheme on a visit to the town today.
He believes that widening the channel for ships would help develop the port and improve the town's economy. But those behind the scheme still have to prove that dredging won't damage protected seaweed beds. Cathy Wardle reports.
Falmouth Docks already employs more than 1,000 people. But A&P Falmouth, which owns the docks, says its future relies on bigger ships coming into port. That means a deeper channel needs to be dug on the approach. Today, Paul Kenny from the union that represents many dock workers gave his backing to a project to dredge the harbour entrance.
The impact on local economy is fantastic. I mean, it's jobs, but it's also value-added shops and so on. Then there's the yards, being able to get hold of bigger ships, which is the trend now. And if they don't make that dredging, then we're going to be struggling for work. This can grow.
Some of the larger ships would come for repairs, and others would be lucrative cruise liners bringing tourists from overseas into Cornwall.
All the independent economic studies say that all the current jobs, there's over 1,000 in the docks with us and Pendennis, and there's 30 other tenants in there, all working companies, would actually grow by 800 jobs within 5 years. So that's what we need.
Environmental tests in the last 5 years have failed to secure permission to dredge the harbour. That's decided by the Marine Management Organisation. So far, it's blocked the plans to dredge this area known as the Carrick Roads. That's because of concerns that it might damage a type of protected seaweed called merle, which grows in large quantities on the seabed here. Plans are now underway for a scientific trial to see if dredging can be done without damaging the important habitats. It could take 6 months. Once complete, the port authorities hope they'll get a final answer on whether or not they can dredge. Cathy Wardle in Falmouth for the West Country Tonight.
Well, the government is watching all this with interest because it, of course, wants to expand deep water ports such as Falmouth.
Yeah, we can cross now to our political correspondent, Bob Constantine, who is at Westminster for us this evening. Bob, there's been some frustration in the past, hasn't there, about the time that this is taking?
Well, that's right. The government is eager to promote more deep-sea ports, partly because of the economic benefits, but also to help take some freight off road and rail. That's why they're keeping an eye on what's going on in Falmouth. And in fact, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne, was down there last summer and heard for himself at first hand the problem with this protected merle. And in his autumn statement, he announced a review of the way that EU directives on wildlife were being interpreted. And as he told the local MP at the time, he very much had Falmouth in mind.
Absolutely ridiculous situation we're in, where we cannot dredge the Falmouth estuary, get jobs created in Falmouth and not find this ridiculous balance in our society where, in order to protect seaweed at the bottom of the Falmouth estuary, we're not able to dredge it and create hundreds of jobs in Falmouth.
So what's due to happen now then, Bob?
Well, as Cathy was indicating, I understand an application will be made to the Maritime Management Organisation shortly. Agreement has been reached on what type of trial it should be, who will assess it, to assess once and for all the impact on dredging having on this merle, and if you move it, can it regenerate, and so on. Hundreds of jobs are at stake here, millions of pounds worth of investment at stake, so it's vital that we get this right. It'll be a 6-month trial, and if the impact is negative, then dredging could start next year.
Bob Constantine, thank you.
And just a reminder that if you want to get in touch with us about that story or any other on the programme, you can always email us. Here's our address. It's westcountry@it.